ate a little bit of her heart.
You ate a bit of her heart?
To try to strengthen mine.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
This crying man was a disgusting cannibal who caused a string of events so dark and twisted, people thought only the devil could have orchestrated them. In fact, that cannibal claimed the devil had whispered in his ears, making him do all this. Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated. In today's episode, we're diving into one of the most disturbing cases in Canadian criminal history. Without further ado, let's get started. This story takes us to Blairmore, a small town in Crowsnest Pass, Canada. If you're wondering, that's right where Alberta and British Columbia meet, snuggled between towering mountains. It's one of those old-school mining towns where people once came chasing dreams with pickaxes in hand. Nowadays, Blairmore's famous for its scenic beauty, hiking, fishing, and mountain biking. You get the idea. The 1,500 or so locals rely on tourism and the outdoors to survive, clinging to life in a town that could easily turn into just another ghost town, like so many others around it. Working hard to keep life steady in Blairmore was 27-year-old Hailey Blanchette. Terry cooked at Pure Country Bar and Grill in the nearby town. His life revolved around his little girl, 2-year-old Hailey. She was his everything. Terry had some trouble in his past, like assault and theft, but once Hailey was born in 2013, he made a promise to himself to leave all that behind and start fresh. Hailey's mom was Cheyenne Dunbar. When Hailey was born, Terry and Cheyenne were together, but just a couple of months later, they called it quits. Cheyenne moved away, but the two stayed on good terms. They shared custody of Hailey, kept in constant contact, and genuinely respected each other as parents. Hailey was happy, always laughing, and had a close bond with her grandparents too. It wasn't perfect, life rarely is, but they did their best for their little girl. Then came September 14, 2015. Terry's dad, William Blanchette, was on the road that day, traveling from British Columbia to Alberta. His trip brought him right through Crowsnest Pass, so he swung by Blairmore for lunch with his son and granddaughter. He knocked on Terry's door that morning, no answer. Maybe they were still asleep. He sent Terry a quick text. "Hey, are you up?" Nothing. Shrugging it off, William went to the gas station, topped off his truck, and tried calling again. Still no response. He thought, maybe my son's phone is just dead. So he returned to Terry's house and managed to step inside, expecting to hear a toddler's giggles or maybe a TV humming in the background. Instead, there was silence, a heavy, eerie silence. Something wasn't right. Walking through the house, William saw things out of place, messes, objects knocked over. He moved toward the bathroom and froze. Lying on the floor in front of him was his son Terry, partially covered with a blanket, a pool of blood around him. 2-year-old Hailey was nowhere to be found. Shaking, William immediately called the RCMP. Terry's injuries were brutal, head trauma, and a deep cut stretching from one side of his neck to the other. Blood stains in his bedroom told investigators the attack started there. He had been dragged into the bathroom afterward. But the question that gripped everyone's hearts was this: where was little Hailey? The answer seemed to be hidden in chilling traces. Blood smears were found on the door to her room, on her blanket, her doll, even in her crib. But Hailey herself was gone. This was every parent's worst nightmare: someone breaking into a house in the dead of night and vanishing with a child. Police immediately issued an Amber Alert to find Hailey.
Police now tell us a father has been murdered.
This is 2-year-old Hailey Dunbar Blanchette. Police across our province and in BC, Saskatchewan, and now Montana are on the lookout for her tonight, and they're asking you to be on the lookout too.
The Amber Alert swept across Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and even reached Montana. RCMP feared that the kidnapper might try to cross into the United States with Hailey. A neighbor living behind Hailey's house came forward with a valuable lead. Around 3:30 a.m., the night Hailey disappeared, he was jolted awake by strange noises, like someone creeping around outside. He peeked out and saw a white van. Surveillance footage later captured a white van speeding through the area that night. Unfortunately, they could not identify its license plate. Meanwhile, at the crime scene, investigators used luminol to reveal bloody footprints leading away from the house, likely toward the white van. And then, it was gone. The police quickly updated the Amber Alert, adding the description of the vehicle. A newer model, white van, with a large rear antenna with a flag attached. The entire community quickly mobilized, driven by fear and uncertainty. This wasn't the first time something horrific had happened. Just days before the kidnapping, another tragedy struck. Hannah Mekatek, a 69-year-old woman from Coleman, just down the road, had been brutally murdered. She was found in her trailer on September 9th after a neighbor requested a welfare check. Her door had been forced open. Signs of a struggle were evident, and her body was severely beaten, her skull crushed with a heavy object like a pipe or baseball bat, and her throat slashed. It was eerily similar to what happened to Terry. Naturally, people believed the two crimes were linked, but the police quickly dismissed the connection. Meanwhile, search teams, local residents, and air units worked tirelessly, blocking roads and scouring the area for any sign of Hailey or the suspect. Hailey's mother, Cheyenne, rushed to Crow's Nest, desperate to find her little girl.
Vigils were done, and calls were made that might be useful to the police, especially regarding that white van.
If you lived in Blairmore and were looking for top-notch cleaning services or custom clothing alterations and repairs, you might contact Prestige Cleaners and Tailors.
When you need timely dry cleaning services or custom clothing alterations and repairs, come into Prestige Cleaners and Tailors in downtown Blairmore.
Prestige Cleaners was a family-run business, proudly owned by the Soretskys for over 47 years. It was started by Nick and Tina, and now their sons, Kevin and Larry, had taken over. It was Larry Soretsky who, after hearing about the Amber Alert, decided to call the police. You see, Prestige Cleaners had 3 white vans with antennas and flags, and one of them had gone missing. The van had been taken sometime between September 13th and 14th, right on the night of the murder. Larry didn't know who had taken it, but he knew it wasn't where it had been left, and the odometer showed extra miles. The van had last been used on September 11th, and his employees didn't know anything about it being used since. Police assured Larry they'd be right over. As Larry anxiously waited, wondering who could have taken the van and what might have happened, his son Derek walked in. Derek was a 22-year-old man who had worked in the cleaners for a few months, but he wasn't too interested in following the family tradition. Larry noticed something strange about Derek. He was acting odd and avoiding the topic. Larry asked, "What's going on with you? Have you heard about the kid's disappearance, the murder down the road?" Derek's response sent a chill down his spine. "Hailey is in heaven now." Then, Derek became incoherent, babbling nonsense. The police arrived shortly after and took Derek into custody.
Just to let you know, Derek, that you have been identified as a suspect, okay, in Hailey's disappearance and Terry's death. Yeah, I get it. Okay, you know what happened to Hailey?
I feel comfortable with saying that. Let's start with, is she alive? No, I can tell you. Is there a possibility she's still alive? Possibility, I guess.
Derek, this is a serious investigation here. Someone's been killed, someone's been murdered, and we have a 2-year-old that we have to find.
Jeez. Yeah. Their spirits floating out.
The police quickly turned their attention to the missing van, and what they discovered inside shocked them: blood. It was unmistakable, standing out in bright contrast. The floor mats were also gone, further raising suspicion. Without wasting any time, police searched Derek's apartment, which was right next door to the cleaners. They hoped, perhaps even prayed, that they would find Hailey alive. What police found inside Derek's apartment was chilling, like something out of a horror movie. Blood on a doorknob, droplets around the living room, latex gloves, and boots that were stained with more blood. They also found a hammer, a hatchet, and disturbing books on cannibalism. On his table, Derek had written, One shot, one kill, and this is not the end. Death is only the beginning. Even more unsettling was a notebook with a strange cryptic message. Hannah, sleepers for the dogs. Hannah had dogs. Shy Terry, the hideous baby. The meaning was unclear, but one thing was certain. Police were facing something far more sinister than just a killer. Derek Soretsky was immediately brought in for questioning. Their tactic was simple but extremely hard to do. Show genuine sympathy toward Derek, talk to him like a friend, slowly chip away his defenses, and carefully ask where the girl is.
I'm not asking if you did it.
I didn't do it, so I can't tell you where she is, because I didn't do any of it. I didn't do any of it.
The investigators aren't just guessing that it's you, right? You do realize that, right? Their case is very strong.
I don't know, I didn't do it.
At first, Derek denied everything, but soon he cracked. His confession was horrifying.
Don't let her be alone. Be a hero for her. Be a hero, buddy. Let this community know that you're a hero, not a monster. Is she alive, Derek, or is she dead? Look at me. Is she alive?
She's not alive.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Where is she, buddy? Where is she?
The devil made me turn her into ashes.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Now the detective had to comfort the disgusting killer. This was something normal people could not do. With a soft voice, he then asked where and how Derek killed the little girl.
Was it in the bush where you burnt her? Is that where she died?
Yeah, it was in the bush.
How'd you kill her?
I choked her.
Okay.
Just like he choked me.
Yeah. Did she suffer?
A little bit.
Derek cried and blamed the devil for everything. He claimed the devil was searching for soul, and killing Hailey could save himself. Not far from downtown Blairmore, nestled in the countryside, is a 160-acre property known as the Ranch. The ranch is owned by 3 sisters who share the land, and one of them, Carmela Soretsky, is married to Derek's uncle. Carmela has a son named Shane, who is Derek's cousin. On September 13th, Shane had been at the ranch, making sure the fire pit was properly emptied and safe, with no smoldering embers or foreign objects left behind. After making sure everything was in order, he left. 2 days later, on September 15th, Shane returned to grab a few things he had forgotten. By then, the Amber Alert had already made headlines. When Shane arrived at the ranch, he noticed something unsettling: smoke coming from the fire pit. It was used by someone after he had left. He walked over to investigate and discovered that the fire pit was still smoldering. He poked around with a stick and made a chilling discovery: small bones. He was certain they hadn't been there when he had left. Without hesitation, Shane called the police and led them to the fire pit. What they uncovered was crucial evidence in the case. Later, Derek would be taken to the site and asked to reenact what happened.
Where did you take Hailey?
Over here.
Whereabouts? Can you just show me? Like, just take me right there.
No, this was moved.
This was moved?
This was somewhere else. Where it was.
You don't need to move it, but...
It's right here.
So you had Hailey right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do?
There, yeah.
What did you do first?
I started stocking the fire pile with books. A whole bunch of books till I got the fire decently going, and then put some wood on it. Then I choked her over there.
Where? Take
over
me?
there, about...
You just take me to the spot?
It's over here.
Okay.
In his statement, Derek admitted to kidnapping Hailey that night, taking her to the ranch, and strangling her with a shoelace. Then he dismembered her body, pouring some of her blood into a bottle and even drinking it.
How did you choke her?
With the shoelaces string.
Where'd you get the shoelace?
I don't know where he got them from. I just had it in one of the pigs.
Did you cut her before you choked her to death, or did you cut her after?
I choked her first.
So she was dead when you cut her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel terrible.
I understand, but you're doing a great job, so you should start to feel better. This should be healing for you.
As the detective was about to wrap his case, Derek dropped a bombshell that made him question his reality.
I ate a little bit of her heart.
You ate a bit of her heart?
To try to strengthen mine.
And how did that make you feel?
I drank a bit of her blood to try to strengthen me.
And how did that make you feel?
A little bit stronger.
Yeah. Or maybe it gave you the strength to tell the truth to you.
It did make me strong.
It did?
For a bit. Just a little bit.
Derek admitted to dismembering Hailey, drinking her blood, and eating part of her heart for what he called strength. Finally, he burned her remains in a fire pit on the ranch. After the murder, Derek returned home and smoked a joint. So what about her father, Terry Blanchette? Derek continued to confess in tears.
So what did you use to kill Terry?
I used a knife.
A knife?
Yeah.
What kind of knife? Can you describe it, please?
It was just a normal, unserrated knife.
Derek claimed the devil told him Terry was a bad father. He admitted to using a normal, unserrated knife to kill Terry, then throw the knife into the same fire pit where Hailey's body was burned.
It's in the fire pit now.
The same fire pit that you burned her?
Yeah.
When asked to recount the events, Derek described how he got into the van, drove to a nearby backyard driveway, and waited for the cover of a passing train to make his move. Wearing a mask and carrying a flashlight, he approached the side door of Terry's house.
So take me back to when you get the van, and you tell me what happens next. You get the van, and what happens?
I went in the van, started the van, drove over to some person's backyard, their backyard driveway. Went to his side door. I heard a train go past, so I figured that was a good time to check out the house. I had a flashlight on, my mask on. Looked at Terry in the face, smash. And I grabbed him with some rope. I could choke him. Choked him and then cut his throat.
Although Derek was crying the entire time, his words were blunt and without remorse, painting a grim picture of a premeditated attack. The devil was only an excuse for his murder plan. Not much was known about the kind of person Derek Suretsky was before the crimes. He came from a good family, and people described him as a quiet, decent kid. He had some minor run-ins with the police for burglary, but nothing that raised major concerns. When he was arrested, it shocked everyone.
I don't know why anybody would do that to her. Police say they are still looking for evidence to answer why. 2 counts of first-degree murder and another disturbing charge.
Mr. Suretsky also faces 1 count of indignity to a human body in relation to Hailey's death.
Derek was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of indignity to a human body in relation to Hailey's death. Months later, while being interviewed, Derek finally admitted to the murder of 69-year-old Hannah Mekatek as well. He had always been on the list of suspects for that crime, especially since her name was in his notebook, and he was neighbors with her. In fact, Derek had often mowed her lawn. As for a motive, Derek's reasoning was as twisted as his actions. He claimed that he had developed feelings for Hailey's mother, Cheyenne Dunbar. When he broke into the Blanchette home that night, he didn't realize Cheyenne no longer lived there. He thought she still did, unaware that they had broken up months ago and she had moved away. Was this a love triangle? Derek said he and Cheyenne had dated. But the truth was, they hadn't. Cheyenne would later testify in court, explaining that they had become friends after Hailey was born. They hung out a few times, but it was never romantic. Their friendship lasted for about 5 months before fading away. However, Derek seemed to have imagined a different relationship. He claimed that his motive for killing Terry was that Terry abused Cheyenne, and Terry gave him a dirty look once, which apparently triggered something in Derek. He also believed that 2-year-old Hailey looked unhappy in the pictures he saw on social media, and in his mind, she would be better off dead. As for Hannah Mekatek, Derek claimed she was killed for practice. He didn't think she would be missed, so he decided to use her death as a trial run before carrying out the murders of Terry and Hailey. While in custody, Derek attempted to take his own life and had to be placed in a medically induced coma. He made a full recovery, but would later be rushed to the hospital again after starving himself. Despite his actions, he was ultimately deemed competent to stand trial. In June 2017, Derek Suretsky was found guilty of first-degree murder. In August 2017, he was sentenced to 75 years in prison without the possibility of parole for the murders of Terry Blanchette, Hailey Dunbar Blanchette, and Hannah Mekatek. Derek showed no emotion during his sentencing. It was one of Canada's toughest sentences. And there it is, a chilling tale of a man who committed unspeakable crimes against the most innocent people. People who were simply going about their lives thinking they were safe. But as we know, that illusion of safety can be shattered in an instant. Derek is now locked away where he belongs, and it's clear there's no way out for him. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Please share your thoughts in the comments. If there's a case you're interested in, let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.